Yes, I'm with our vital expert, Andrea Duplessis, talking about calcium, and in particular with a group that really need the calcium for their growing bones intake in children. We've got an interesting array. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We've got an interesting array of calcium feeding food groups here. Take us through the principles of making sure that your child gets the calcium that they need, and what are some of the hang-ups?
Well, calcium is a crucial mineral for children's growth and development because it's the physical structure of your bone, tissue and teeth. So they need quite a lot of it because of the rapid growth rate. And usually in our diets we rely heavily on milk. So I've got a jug of milk here, it's 1.1 litres, which gives you an idea of a child of about 8 years old, how much milk they would need to drink if that was their sole source of calcium.
Sure. And this is a daily intake, what
that's
the
a
child
daily
would need.
intake.
Gosh, okay.
But typically it will be distributed between milk and a bit of cheese and yogurt, etc. and other foods.
This is a lot of broccoli. How much broccoli have you got here?
Well, that's 2.6 kilograms.
Oh,
yes, that is a heavy load.
It does
You
feel
can't
like
even pick it
2.6
up.
kilograms of broccoli. Now, getting a child to eat anything like this is
Yes.
going to be near impossible.
Why I've got the broccoli here is some children are allergic to milk products and they talk about lactose intolerance. And how you would know if your child is lactose intolerant is drinking milk or eating cheese or yogurt may give them an upset tummy, and they'll typically complain about 20 minutes after drinking the milk of stomach pains and maybe a runny tummy.
And this is something that's, I think in recent years, we've kind of cottoned on to the fact that this lactose intolerance is very widespread.
It is. You won't believe it, but 75% of the world population is lactose intolerant. But not all of them know it. If you only consume small amounts of dairy, you might not notice it. But as soon as you up the volume a bit, like you would do if you want to give your child enough calcium through milk.
Okay,
So-
and we've got our other little
Yes.
ways of getting calcium into the system. Obviously, the fresh nuts, beautiful, healthy, lots of essential fatty acids, but what if you have a nut allergy?
Yes, you see, I've got 3 sources of non-dairy calcium. And to get enough calcium for your daily intake, it's either 2.6 kilograms of broccoli, so that entire basket.
So you'd have to have the whole thing.
Yes, and I don't know a single child that will be keen to do that.
Anyone up for the challenge? Anyone, yeah.
And then looking at these sardines, they're a rich source of calcium as well, but if you want to get to the optimum intake of calcium for your daily intake for a child, 4 tins would suffice.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's also a bit of a challenge, unless they're addicted to it or fond of it. And then about 460 grams of almonds would also be, if that's your sole source of
That's
calcium.
pretty much all you're going to eat all day. Okay, that is...
So the point is, it's difficult to get to enough calcium, especially if you can't add dairy products to your diet.
That's a major thing. So what is the answer?
So there are supplements. So that's 4 calcium tablets. They're chewable. It's the Vital Calcium Complex. So they're tasty. They're chewable.
I can testify to that. I did have a little nibble earlier, and it tastes like strawberry milkshake. I love
So you
it.
can have another one. I know you love them. But basically, this is really, if you look at the size comparison, a much more convenient way of getting calcium into your child's body. And the idea is still to incorporate these foods. But if you're uncertain if they're getting enough, you can top it up with the calcium.
And it couldn't be easier, I think, to get a child to eat this.
Yes.
To be quite honest. When should you be taking your calcium, or when should you be offering it to your child in their kind of daily routine?
Well, the ideal time to give calcium supplements is at night, after a
Okay.
meal, for 2 reasons. One is that after a meal, your stomach secretes hydrochloric acid that digests your food, and that acid environment is ideal for the absorption of calcium. Plus, they say that if you take your calcium at night, it's absorbed better into the bone tissue.
Okay.
It does not mean that if you take it in the morning that it goes to waste at all. It's just slightly better to take it at night.
After a good meal. Now, where can people find you if they've got more questions relating to their children and some of those idiosyncrasies when it comes to supplementing? I know allergies and those sorts of things, people need to know the exact truth. Where can they contact
Oh,
you?
definitely. They can contact me on Facebook. So the page is called Andrea Duplessis Vital Expert.
And that she is, our vital expert. A fantastic little array of ways of getting your calcium into your system and into your child, but if they can't handle over 2 kilograms of broccoli in one sitting, we of course got the right kind of supplements to keep them healthy and making sure they've got a mouthful of bright, shiny, white, smiling teeth.
Trust Vital for your family's health.